Welcome to the Divine Mess, a sanctuary where the dance of the empowered masculine and the divine feminine unfolds in all its glory. Join us as we delve into the heart of these cosmic energies, exploring their attributes and the profound impact they have on our lives. From the raw power of the masculine to the nurturing embrace of the feminine, we uncover the balance that leads to a life of abundance and joy. Our hosts, Curdy Deva Perriman and Tina Ryan, are your guides on this spiritual journey who blend science with soul to offer practical wisdom for harnessing your divine energy. We celebrate the beauty and imperfection, embracing the chaos of life's journey as a catalyst for growth. The Divine Mess isn't just a podcast, it's a movement towards wholeness and self-expression. So come laugh with us, cry with us, and grow with us. Every episode is an invitation to explore the depths of your being and to live out loud, authentically, and unapologetically. Subscribe and join our community of seekers as we support each other in this extraordinary, messy adventure we call life. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you happen to be. Welcome to the Divine Mess, and if this is the first time that you are tuning in, let's do some introductions. I think that might be a nice way to go. My name's Tina Marie, and I'm an intuitive prophet, and I help people through transformation so they can see the divine light of their soul. And like every week, I am joined by my gorgeous co-host, who he and I have been friends for what feels like forever, but really, in the scheme of things, is not that long at all. But it was definitely a meeting of the minds when we met, and the Divine Mess was born out of long conversations, many memes being sent backwards and forwards across all platforms. Trust me, if you saw it, you'd have a bit of a laugh. I will do a quick introduction, and then if he feels he needs to add more, then he can. Mr. Curdy Deva Perriman, also known as Deva, he helps people transmute fear into love. And I love that because love really is the universal language for everybody. Mauritian born, French speaking. Once you hear him speak, oh my God, you'll never go back. He's a wealth of knowledge and a great human to hang out and spend time with. So over to you, my dear friend.
Well, thank you, Tina, for this lovely, as usual, introduction. We did have fun doing that, every single time it keep evolving, and we are still having fun, and we keep going. I don't know until when, but it will keep. I feel it's keep going, and we do have more in store for the coming year. So for those who are listening to us, by the time of the recording, it's actually the last Sunday of 2024 that we are celebrating today, and it's just been a. I feel like before we were chatting, and the past week as well, we caught up. I feel like it's been a big year for both of us and for everyone else. I feel that because I can see that people are evolving. You can see the consciousness evolving in different ways, in maybe in the darkness way, in darkness as well, in light as well, both ways. But I feel that the human consciousness is evolving, and there are more information out there. And for those who are tuning in, thank you for taking time to listen to us, to listen to our woo-woo conversation, our fun conversation and fun takes on life. And we did have fabulous guests coming this year. We did take a pause with the guests for the past month, but definitely that will restart in the coming year. And we are looking forward to meeting new people, inviting the previous guests as well to come back and just, share what they have acquired, the knowledge they have acquired. But personally, I feel like this been a change, in terms of the view of life, like how to see life and even how to achieve goals, because we have a lot of talk about, yes, you set a goal, because I know it's reaching the end of the year, and everyone subconsciously we do that. What have we achieved this year? And then, of course, with social media, even if you're not on social media, like someone will talk about it, like what have you achieved about like this year. And we have that chat as well last time when we met as well. But for me personally, is like how we evolve, like who we have become. That's more important than the goals in terms of the finance, in terms of the career advancement. But the person you have become is way more important, because once that click, everything will fall into place. And that's what we notice in our own journey when we constantly have those chat with those guests, is like everyone was planted in divine timing. Every guest that came on help us or create a catalyst in our life to make an understanding, oh, this is the direction now, like this is, and just it was divine direction. And that's what we have been doing throughout the divine mess. I feel like I think we are nearly 84, 85 episode in. So next year we'll be hitting the 100, which I'm very excited about. We are not far off. I'm pretty sure like in 15 weeks, if my calculation are correct, that we'll hit that goal. But it's been a fabulous journey of learning. And we did have rough patches as well, in our healing. And that's what we were discussing just before the recording, and last week as well we have been discussing about that. And that's what I feel that people need to understand as well, and to be gently reminded that healing is a journey, it's not a destination. And it's not linear, it's never linear, it's never the way you think it's going to be, ever. It goes beyond that. It goes beyond your imagination. It goes beyond your understanding. But it's going to be divinely timed, like it's going to be divinely planted. It's going to be you just have to trust the divine timing we talk about. And of course, our favorite word for the past 2 years is surrender to the divine, which we are both learning. We are both learning, because Tina said like she's already an acquaintance to surrender now, and she's becoming like a bestie soon. That's the goal. One of the goals maybe for next year. But post Christmas, it's been interesting, like to see how people, like they're questioning themselves. Like the conversation I've been having with some friends is like, oh, what I have achieved. And then you just ask them, like, who has you become? Like just see, like 5 years ago, the person you were wishing to become, see, I'm pretty sure like 90% of it is what you achieve, what you have done. You have become that person that you asked for. And I think Steve Harvey who said that, like, the life that you're living currently is someone's prayer. So just be grateful for that, because we tend to forget about that. And or we wait for Christmas then, or some special event to be grateful, to be around family. Even sometimes family is not fun to be around, to be honest. It can be challenging. It's the most challenging for personally, I feel it's one of the most challenging spiritual assignment is your family members, but you learn from that. But to be grateful to have family, because some people are not don't even have the luxury that you are having, like enjoying those little moments. And I feel like for me, post Christmas, that's what it taught me, to be more humble about life, to be more grateful, to be, like reflecting. I noticed that this year compared to the previous years of my life, I'm way focusing on gratitude. And that's my focus. And it's like become second nature in that way towards the end of the year, because normally I would have been comparing, oh, I have not achieved that, or I have not done that. But this year I felt like even this morning while going for a walk in the park, I was like being grateful about everything that happened in the past couple of years, or even the time I have been in New Zealand, because it just taught me so much about me. But there's so much more to come, and I'm being grateful for that. And Divine Mess podcast has been one of the best thing that has happened to me, and I'm very grateful. Even to Wendy, who introduced both of us. So a shout out to her, and of course, I'm grateful to Tina, who has pushed for this to happen, who has made it happen. So I'm very grateful for her. And for that, I will just leave that right to her now. Please go on. Thank you.
Yes, please go on and thank you. No, it's an interesting word, because I think gratitude, because I don't think a lot of people really truly recognize what it is. Like, oh yeah, I'm grateful for my kids, or I'm grateful for my husband, or I'm grateful for the work that I do, or whatever it is. But do you really take stock of what those people bring to your life, but also what you bring to theirs? Because I think it's interesting, because we're always looking outside of ourselves, like my children bring me this, my husband brings me this, my work brings me this. We don't often look at it in the flip side, in the gratitude of, I bring this to their life, I bring this to my work environment, I bring this to my family. And even if, like for me, the relationships in family are not sensational, purely for the fact that, we think on different levels, we see things very, very differently, I'm still grateful for that. And as much as, 10 years ago, it was an extremely painful situation. But I think one of my mentors from this year has gone, well, without the pain, Teen, you wouldn't have had the growth. Without the separation from your family, you wouldn't have gone looking elsewhere for mentors, for teachers, for like-minded souls to, you would have remained stuck where you were. And without them providing the catalyst, or, we are the one common denominator in all the stuff that happens in our lives, right? So as much as we don't think that we create situations, we do. Our souls create these situations for us, because it knows that we're needing to move. And if we're not seeing the signs and moving accordingly, we're going to get pushed. So it will be a catalytic moment like I had, where my brother-in-law and my ex-husband had a fist fight in front of my mother's and my father and my children and their children, and it got really, really ugly. And because of that, I haven't spoken to my sister in 10 years. Because all of the stuff, I was judgmental, and I was all of these sorts of things. And it's like, I think the biggest problem is that people can't see what's going on behind the door. They look at the outward reflection, and it appears that way, that my sister looked at the outward reflection of the house, the business, the kids, the lifestyle, all the stuff, and gone, well, her life's perfect, so she's got everything that I want, and was placing judgment, not even beginning to ask, are you happy? Who are you? Are you happy with this version of you, or do you think that you're meant for something more? So going to her house and having had an argument in the car with my then husband, who didn't want to be going to the family event but got dragged there and had had half a dozen beers by the time he'd already gotten to the event. So I've walked in and front of my face is all screwed up, and she thinks that the screwed up face is to do with her, and it's got nothing to do with her. So there are all these stories that you play on rote that you think, well, she doesn't like me, and she doesn't like where I live, and she doesn't like my you know, whatever the stories are that you're playing in your head. Take a moment to have a think. Is it actually true? And how about if I put myself in someone else's shoes and have a look at their life from a different perspective? Am I going to have gratitude for them being there in the first place? Am I going to have gratitude for what I have in my relationships, in my home, with my children, with my family, whatever it is? I think the biggest problem is that we all go into experiences, and particularly at Christmas time, we have certain expectations that, you know, oh, this is going to be shit and I can't be bothered. And, you know, they're just going to nag me about not having enough children, or having too many children, or not liking my husband, or thinking my husband's the greatest thing since sliced bread, when really at home he's the biggest pain in the butt. But if we go into those events with that, this is going to happen, and my mother's always going to criticize me, and my father's going to tell me, you know, all the stuff, have a guess what's going to happen? Exactly the story you've created in your head. But if you go into the event thinking, I'm going to have a really lovely time, you know, and mum and dad are going to be great, and you rehearse in your brain, you visualize in your brain what the dinner's going to unfold like, and, you know, how people are going to treat you. But also the thing that it boils down to is you. You've got to walk in and have gratitude for the people that are hosting the event, and for people being there, and for wanting to gather the group of family together. And you may find that you have a completely different experience than what you've had for the past 20 years. So for me, gratitude has to come from both sides, not only what those people bring to your life, but what you bring to theirs, and what you bring to the external environment, because as we understand, everything's connected. You know, we're connected to, in some way, shape, or form, the barista who makes our coffee at the local coffee shop. And it may be through experience, it may be through people that you know at work, it may be through people that you went to school with. You don't know, but you are connected in some way. You're connected to the ground that you walk on, to the sky, to the birds, to the everything. But we have to have gratitude. You know, I feel gratitude is essential, because from gratitude comes love. And whether someone's being an absolute numpty, or whether they're being the greatest person on earth, there are going to be pros and cons for that behavior. But if we don't take the time to have a look at, oh, my husband, he's wonderful and he does all this stuff for me, and he's this and he's that, but in hell, if he leaves, you know, the toilet seat up, or he leaves his dirty socks on the floor, or, you know, and that stuff, you've got to balance the good with the not so good. You know, or you can't solely concentrate on the fact that he never shows up, or he never does this, or he never does that, but on the outside, he seems perfect. We experience in singularity, but life is duality. And if you don't balance it out, you can't have all the good without the bad. Well, the darkness to turn up somewhere in your life. If you're experiencing good in one aspect of your life, and you're not looking at balancing it out, the darkness will show up somewhere else, because you're playing your life in an unbalanced way. So we need to experience gratitude for the fact that, yes, I have a 3-bedroom home. I would love a 5-bedroom home, but I have a beautiful 3-bedroom home that accommodates my family. It doesn't accommodate all of them, but it still has the capacity to hold my family when I need it to. And I'm grateful for that. It's not the 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom with the swimming pool and the sauna and the ice bath and all the stuff that I would like to create. But it holds the people that I love and enables me to cook food and enables me to sleep at night. And, you know, I'm sleeping in relative comfort. Like you say, it's been great to hold our family in this space. You can't, you know, always future looking and not having gratitude for, you know, the beautiful fruit trees that I have growing and the birds that sing, like David said, at 5 a.m. in the morning, and you're just going, oh my word. There's balance in it. And the things that frustrate me are just showing me things where I need to open my heart up a little bit more to that. Oh, this is not my house, but I'm grateful for the fact that they've not painted the house properly. Drives me a bit bonky, but it's like, oh, you know what? The walls hold us. They provide us a safe place to land at the end of the day. You know, and it goes for anything. But if you have a look at any experience in your life, whether it be positive or negative, and think about if the situation was in reverse, there would be negatives to it. You're deluding yourself if you think that they're not, because there will be. So 2024 has been a really interesting walkthrough in understanding you have to provide the balance in every situation. You have to look at the good, but what did it also teach me? What did I learn about myself, or what could I have experienced in a different way had I opened myself up a little bit more, or the things that were not so crash hot? Where was I being closed and not allowing myself to experience it in its fullness? And what was I being taught about myself? Like, I've learned that I don't need to be bright and shiny to get to get attention. I can get it by asking for it. Not extremely good at asking for help. It's a coming lesson, a little bit like my friendship with surrender. It is taking a lot of deep breathing and counting to 10. There's a lot of stuff that I have learnt about myself, and particularly, like, literally, I've had a crash course in the last month of what do I want to create from my life. Like, I look that I am, you know, on the crest of the hill, and most people would think at hitting 50 it's all on the downhill slope. But for me, I'm looking upwards again and going, what's the next peak that I want to reach? And there's some big things that I would like to achieve in my life, and staying stagnant in a place is not going to help me achieve those goals. I've got to look bigger, think bigger, and start to recognize your worth. I think that's, for a lot of people, understanding your worth is something people are not really good at. They're not really good at seeing what they bring to the table. They're not really good at understanding their divinely given gifts, were the things that most people would go, huh, I just can't. You know, don't know where the skill came from. I don't know why I have it, but I just can't. But they don't see it as anything special. Like, my ability to hear things and pass on knowledge to people was just something I kind of took for granted. It wasn't until it was shown to me in the last month that it's a critical part of my skill set. You know, it's the thing that nudges me along the road without me even realizing that that's what it does. So I think if you're going to take stock of this year, have a look at it from every aspect. And in all the good stuff, what did you learn out of the good stuff? And in all the stuff that you considered not so crash hot or a bit crappy, you know, busted relationships, crappy job, the job's crappy because you're not meant to be there. Or the job's crappy because you're crappy. and you're acting like a bit of an ass. You know, so where can we do more within ourselves to be either better at what we do or go looking for what we're meant to be doing, what feels juicy, but at the same time gives you a sense of calm, you know, because the minute that you get all those heightened feeling, we're not making decisions from a neutral space. Like, because when we look at things like money's neutral. Money's neither good nor bad. We place priority on that. It's like so many things in our life. Things are neutral. We just place importance and meaning, whether it be, I must be in a relationship because my mother drives me nuts, or, you know, I must be in a relationship because all my other friends are married, or I must place importance on having X amount of dollars in my bank account. That's your perception of it. So then that's showing you where work needs to be done in coming to a neutral space before we make a choice, you know, where you feel calm in making that next step forward, rather than making that next step forward from a space of fear or heightened excitement. That heightened excitement could be the person that you work with could be all excited for you, or it could be that your husband or your kids are all excited for you and you choose to step forward and then you get there and go, shit, this isn't anywhere near what I thought it was going to be, and it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. And why did I think it was going to be amazing? It's because you made the decision based on someone else's energy, not your own. So now I've learned over my time to make decisions where there's a sense of calm in my own water, where I'm going, okay, I'm going to look at it and balance it out. What are all the good things that can come with it? What are all the potentially negative things that can come from it? And would you be okay if either situation came to pass? And if you can sit in the space in the middle and go, yeah, if it works, great. If it doesn't, I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm not going to be bummed out. I'm not, you know, or if it comes to pass, there are going to be ramifications that come out the other side, but you have to be comfortable and okay with that. So when you're weighing up your 2024, do it from a balanced perspective. You know, like you can have a look on any of the stuff, dial up a life wheel, have a look at all the different aspects of your life that you can have a look at, because most people will only look at it from their finances or their career. But, you know, add in your family relationships, your intimate relationships, your global social. How do you react outside to different places and cultures and experiences? What does that look, you know, do you step outside your front door and try something new? Do you go and, you know, worship at a different church, or do you go and try someone else's religion on for size, or someone else's festivals on for size, just to go and experience? Trust me, we're all the same. We may put a different label on our heads. We may put a different religious label on our heads. We may have a different color of the beautiful meat suit that we're all roaming around in, but on the inside, it's all energy. It's all the same. So if you go in with an open mind and you go have a look, the people that the people that you'll meet, the experiences that you'll have so many aha moments and go, oh, they're just like me. They're just experiencing the same stuff with their brothers and their sisters and their mums and their dads, and the expectation and the familial guilt. And honeys, we're all the same. Makes no difference. You know, as much as Dava and I are from polar opposite places, we have experienced so many things that are similar, but also learn from one another from the differences that we have. This man celebrates festivals like every 2 seconds of the day. I don't think there's, 10 days in the year where there isn't something that for him, he is not celebrating. And for me, it's like, oh, what is it this week? Or who are we worshipping this week? It's just really fascinating if you extend yourself and you go and have a look and you ask people some really curious questions. You know, go and sit down at a coffee shop and ask somebody a question and go, how did you get where you are? Who are you? Or, I love your shoes, or your hair looks great, or start a conversation with someone that you don't know. Extend yourself, because it's very interesting when you go and ask a stranger some questions, 9 times out of 10, it's the message they needed to hear as much as you did. So you are attracted to people for a reason. Go find out what the reason is, see where that will take you in 2025. But for me, it's all about expansion next year, is going and trying, saying yes more often, even when it feels a little bit, ooh, going and saying yes. And yes, that includes possibly jumping off a bridge and having something tied to my ankles. That, oh well, we just do it anyway.
Definitely, because travel is part of your values. So definitely
Yeah.
it will be part of your experience as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much in what you shared that I don't know where to start, where to reflect. But there's a book recently that I came across it was recommended by one of my friends, and it's called Still Like an Artist. And I forgot the author of the book, but you have the audiobook as well on YouTube, and you do have another make your work seen as well that he wrote, and it's pretty interesting. It's a really short read. The audiobook is only 1 hour, but basically the concept is like, whatever idea or whatever goal you had, you have heard it from someone. It's not yours. It's not your original. So any idea that any idea that you see is never an original. That's his concept. So for me, it was like, because you were sharing about, like having taking it from a neutral perspective as well. So for me, it's like asking yourself, where did that goal come? For example, there was an example in that book was, there was this guy who always wanted to have a jewelry chain, and like a chain shop, I mean, like the shop, right, across the world. And when he came across the book and he started asking himself he kept facing obstacle and obstacle and obstacle, and it never clicked, never clicked, never clicked. And then he asked himself, where did that idea come from? It was actually his grandfather who had that wish of having that chain shop. It has been passed on, but it was never his goal. So sometimes, I'm not saying like it's not your goal, but sometimes it's about asking yourself, where does that come from? Where are you getting that idea from? Or what are you learning? But for me, I that's what I reflected on the book as well. And I was telling my friend, is like, for me, all the ideas come from the source, from the divine. So I don't care if it's original or I'm copying on someone, because I'm tweaking it in my own way. And that's what he says as well. Tweak it in your own way. Add your own twist. Discover, research. And he called it like research, like, and discover and document and go try things. Try until you find that one thing that clicked for you. And that's what I'm suggesting to people, like, try, just give it a try. Like we were speaking earlier, like when I was walking in the park, there was a group of people painting, for example, the nature, and that's beautiful. And for me, painting is not my thing. I know that. I tried that, and I'm like, I'm good with that. I'm at peace with that. But photography is something that I enjoy. So like doing something else, but it's if I don't try, I wouldn't have known. I would have always compared myself. I would say, oh yeah, it's not that great. It's not that good, because like someone else did better, but I don't enjoy it. It's not like my thing. And if it's not your thing, it's fine. But like bungee jumping, it's something that you must do. That's like a core requirement of the Divine Mess podcast. That's compulsory. So you can't get out of it. You can't say that excuse that, oh, it's not my thing. No, it's compulsory. But it's that's a fun joke. So if you have
Yes.
not listened, please go back to the first few episodes that we started speaking about that. But it's all about the, like I love this idea of like having that balanced view and having that two perspective in terms of like, it's like the yin and yang, like, and when you were sharing, for me, it's like, yes, you were saying like it's difficult to ask for help for you, for example, it's challenging. I can understand that. I can resonate with that. For me, it's also receiving help. Like you can ask, but receiving and when someone asks you back, like, okay, and offering you help, so what do you say? And for me, this coming year is all about receiving and allowing as well. That's the part of the surrender process.
Mhm.
Is to allow yourself to receive that, because we spend our time asking, and we often say that we often hear, like in our field, like coaching field, is like, oh, I'm not getting the answers. I'm not hearing anything. I'm not seeing anything. But I'm pretty sure the universe has been placing the signs like every single place possible. Maybe in a song, maybe on a number plate, as we do see it all the time.
Yes.
And we ignore those because we want the sign to be in a certain way, to
We want
be,
it to be the neon lights like in Las Vegas. That's what
yeah,
we're looking for. And 9 times out of 10, it's
it's never.
not big like that. Not, and it never will be.
Yeah.
They're often subtle and
Mm.
extremely quick. And if you don't have a level of awareness about yourself and your own energy, you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
And you'll miss out on the glory of someone helping you out, because that's part of their journey as well. And I know with my kids, often, in some stages they'll say, "Can I help you?" And I'll go, "No, no, no, I've got it covered. It's okay." And then now I've just been having a head slapping moment going, I've denied them the ability to work shoulder to shoulder with me. So then I've dismissed them. Then they've possibly got it in their head that she doesn't need me because she doesn't think. Like you don't understand what loops that puts in someone's head. And then we complain as parents, they don't help out, they don't do anything, because when they've offered, you've said, no, I've got it. So then they put you up on a pedestal and think that you're this amazing superhuman, when you're burning the candle at both ends and you're trying to hold the shit all together. And it's just not happening. It's like, oh, I've just had a massive duh moment. See? And we have these beautiful moments
Yeah.
on podcast where we're just going, oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's
Now I get
beautiful
it.
what you shared as well. Like when we deny someone this opportunity, because it's like the divine helping you. It's like the story. I think it's in Joseph Murphy's book, and it's I don't know if it's quite famous. It's like this guy waiting on the rooftop where there have been a massive flood, and he's like waiting on the rooftop and saying like, God, please help me. And then an helicopter comes to, like to rescue him. And he say, oh, no, 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 I'm waiting for God. And they are like arguing with him. And it's like, no, we have to pick you up. Like we have to rescue you. And then he said, no, 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 it's fine. God is coming. And then there's another boat coming. The guys are saying like, yeah, please come. Like we have come to rescue you. He said, no, God is coming. God is coming. I'm waiting for him. He's going to come. And then it keeps, like these keep happening. It keep happening. Like there will be another boat, there will be another helicopter, there will be the neighbors even coming in their boat and asking for, yeah, we are here to help you. And then, you know what, the next moment is like there's a massive wave, the flood could rise up, and then he drowns, and then he goes to heaven, and then well, heaven technically, or maybe it was his hell in that moment. But like he met with God, and he said, God, well, you didn't come to rescue me. And say, well, I sent the helicopter, I sent the boat, I sent a few boats, I sent the person to let you know that I'm here to help you. So often we are focused on that neon light, billboard, Las Vegas type of message or sign, or clear, crystal clear. But as we know, over the years, we have been learning that the divine speaks in various ways. And if you're not listening, then you won't get it. But it's like, even yesterday, I was listening to another podcast, and the person was saying, like, I think it's Morgan Freeman as well. In one movie, he said that when you ask for patience, God doesn't give you patience. He gives you situation to show you that you are patient as well, but to build on your patience. So for me, I was reflecting on that, and we always ask, like, oh, God, give me, like money, for example, like that certain amount. And then we get people coming to you, asking for you for help, who are ready to pay. And then you say, like, no, I'm just waiting for that check. Like, I'm just waiting for that check. I'm like, yeah, that's sweet. I asked like for $1 million, because sometimes it come in small increments, in small amount, but it total be 1 million, let's say. I'm just giving one example, but we don't see it. Because why it come, and also I believe there's another reason, is like because we are building on our faith. So it starts in small increment, so that you can believe that you're worthy, you're a match to that $1 million. And there was yet another podcast that I listened, and I'm just relating all of that. Is like how a guy, like, he manifested $1 million in 7 days. And he says, like, people don't ask, everyone asks like how I did it, but no one asks how I matched that vibration, because the money is already here. And he only went to a ceremony of healing, and he was discussing about what the vision he was presented. And the person he was discussing with was like, oh, I want you to coach me. And during that, and I'm ready. And he said, yeah, what's your price? And he said, $1 million a year. And the guy said, okay, I need to arrange the funds. And he was so shocked that the guy accepted. And then a couple of days, he went back to the US, I believe the US, and he met another person, and the person right away offered him 1 million. And he agreed to that. So the other guy, he actually initially agreed. He refused him because he said, well, God presented me only 1 million, only given me the vision of 1 million, because the other person was taking some time, and he felt that from within that it was not aligned with his vision that he got. And he says, sometimes you will be tempted on the way, because everyone will be saying right now that I'm so crazy to refuse $1 million. And he was like, but it was not aligned with who I was, who I am. So my vision was to take that 1 million, and he couldn't touch that $1 million for 3 months, because he didn't feel worthy for that yet. And then he started Googling what to do with $1 million. And then that created some ideas. But what I find beautiful in that story is his integrity as well, because he was given a vision and he felt that that was not aligned. He said, I could be so tempted because I didn't have money prior to that. Like literally in 5 days, I manifested like $2 million in 5 days just by matching that. But people don't realize there was an 18-month process of me getting there, of me, to know my limiting belief about money, to know my money stories, to know how to let go of that. But people just see that 5 days or 7 days or whatever it is. They forget that there's an 18-month process prior to that. And that's important as well to acknowledge. And it's not like because, I refuse the money, like everyone is going to say, you're crazy to refuse that kind of money. You say, that's not my vision. My vision was just for that 1 million because I know what God has taught me, has showed me what I can do with that 1 million, how I can expand it, that 1 million. And that's what I'm going to follow, and that's what I'm choosing. And he was at peace with that. And that's beautiful.
Like you say, it's an energetic match, isn't it? Like in terms of money. How did someone put it to me? Your self-worth equals your net worth. So if you feel you're only worth $100, have a guess what someone's going to pay you? They're going to pay you $100. If you feel after doing the work, trust me, it's a process. If you feel that you're worth more than you're getting paid, then you're limiting yourself by staying where you are. But money also, someone described it to me once, money's like a woman. She needs to be loved. She needs to have a safe space to live in. She needs to know that you're going to care for her, that you're going to nurture her, that you're going to give her a space to grow, that she's going to turn your house into a home. So you've got to treat her with care and with caution, but give her safe spaces, safe containers in which to grow. And once she sees that you have the capacity to hold those containers, she's going to give you the capacity to earn more money. But she's not going to go where she doesn't feel safe. So that's why you see a lot of people who win big amounts of money, 9 times out of 10 lose big amounts of money because they don't understand how to hold the energy that comes with that amount of money. Or people will see them as an opportunity to take a money grab because they've not done the work. But when you sit and you do the work money work is fun, and it's also not very fun. In understanding, oh my God, I've accepted so much less than what I'm worth. Or where did my money story come from? What, and when you really, really wind it back and you look at the attitudes of your grandparents and your parents and the people that you surround yourself with, what are their attitudes towards money? What do they constantly tell you about money? That it's hard to have and everything's so expensive and all the stuff. Or money comes to me easy. Money comes to me in many different ways. Money flows to me freely. It's this constant reciprocal process of an in and out. But sometimes as it's coming in, it grows. It becomes like a snowball effect, but it's only going to become like that if you have surrendered to the process of being able to hold it. And if you can't hold it, you've got to look at why you can't hold it. And once you work out why you can't hold it and you start organizing it, and as my mentors have taught me, when you get paid, you pay yourself first. You do not pay your bills first. You do not pay your mortgage first. You pay you first. But you always, always put money aside for giving. And that you give anonymously. You don't give for a tax deduction. You just give because you have the capacity to do so. And everybody does, whether it's 20 cents or $200 or $20,000. You have the capacity to give. But you've got to give because you can, not because it's going to give you some sort of benefit. So organize your money, put it in little containers. I've got about 10 different accounts that I look at my life, and I've allocated money. Pay yourself first. Then give yourself some spending money. Then give your money to those that are in a different situation to yourself. Then you start to look at your bills, your rent, your groceries, car, bus tickets, school fees for your kids, doggy spa for your fur children, whatever your priorities are. But you assess your spending for 12 months, and then you break it down and you look at the percentages of what you've spent, where you've possibly gone, holy shit, I spent that much money on drinking coffee, or holy shit, I spent that much on shoes, or whatever it happens to be. Have a look at those things, and then you can work out your percentages. Always do it on a percentage and not a dollar amount. Because as your wages or as your salary or as your money coming in grows, so does your percentage allocation into those accounts. And you may find that every 3 months you need to rejiggle your percentages. That it might mean that you put more money into saving, or you might decide to donate more money. It's just very dependent. But you need to be religious, and you need to have a date night every week with your money. You sit, and if it's your jam, have a glass of wine, have a glass of champagne, celebrate that that money's come into you. Be grateful that that money has come to you. Give her a safe container, and in 3 months, you will not know the difference in your nervous system to know that you can look at your app on your phone and you go, oh, there's money there, and there's, oh, and I can pay the school fees, and oh, we've got money in a holiday account, and oh, I've got money for presents that come up during the year. Give her a safe space to grow, and then you will grow. So 2025 is going to be really fascinating, but do take some time to reflect. Do take some time to have a look at where you've come from. Because I know if I had looked at myself 10 years ago and looked at where I am now, I would never, ever, ever have believed that that's where I would be. Not once would I have ever thought this is what my life would be. They were, dreams. They were things I wrote down in a journal. I never thought that they would be in actuality, but they are. So now I know that I can create it. I'm hoping to collapse the timeline a little bit faster and create them a little bit quicker. So that is my hope for 2025, that you take yourself somewhere for a night, get a whole heap of paper from IKEA and lots of sticky notes, and have a think about how you want your year to map out. Because if you don't map it out, it'll just unfold, and it might not unfold the way you want it to. So you make it unfold the way you want it to, not the other way around. We're going to unfold into some great things for next year. So not only do you have to do it in your personal life, but do it for your business as well, because it's critically important. The planning stuff is absolutely important, and think without your blinkers on. Think of all the stuff that you couldn't possibly think that was, going and having dinner with Richard Branson on his island, if that's a thing for you, or meeting the Queen of England. I don't know, getting to tour the royal jewels, in the tower. That might be a thing. Whatever your big thing is, climbing Everest, whatever your thing is, put it down, make it happen. Ask ChatGPT, as my friend always tells me, this is my goal. How do I make it happen in 12 months? We've got all this amazing technology in our hands, and so many people are so scared to use it. Give it a crack, see what comes up.
And also to add to that is like your network determine your net worth.
Correct.
That's That's something I heard as well. And it's just beautiful what you shared about money and how you can view money as. I love the idea of date night with money and just, like celebrate. And it's also not just with money, but with yourself as well, because this is a celebration of you as well. And do that, like set that goal for 2025 or even for the coming years, to celebrate you, to put you first and to put your needs first, and whatever you are asking is for you as well, not just for the family or the kids or for others, but for you as well, that you're going to enjoy. And I think it's a good time to wrap it up and to wrap the year. That was the end of the year, I feel. And it's been a fabulous journey, like you would say, fabulous, for the past couple of years now, and nearly a couple of years, I believe. And there's more to come, and I'm looking forward for next year with our guests, and also going back to our roots like we have been doing. I feel like the universe has slowed us down as well, just to integrate what we have learned over the past year with our guests and with what we have been learning, you know, personally, individually as well. So I'm really grateful for that journey, and thank you for being part of that journey. And we'll keep growing, and we'll keep, and to our audience, we'll keep sharing our woo-woo conversation. We'll keep having fun doing that and being vulnerable, being open about it, sharing whatever we know with you. And we are looking to build that community and to create more and more knowledge and bring more people to you, like those who have been changing the world, who are changing the world. And if you know of anyone who can benefit that, please shoot us a message and just message us, and we'll be happy to talk to them. And even if it's you feel that it's you, please let us know. We are open to meeting new people as well, and our audience as well. So on that note, I wish you a happy 2025 by the time of the recording. I don't know when you will listen to that, but anytime that you're listening to that, the message is for you.
1,000%. Well, my dear friend, what a ride this year has been. There's been some jaw-dropping moments, and there has been some definite aha moments and lots of learning. So for having you on the other side of the phone, I've been incredibly grateful for that, and for this little thing that we've created that has now become a big thing. It's almost like not getting a cup of coffee when we don't record. It's become essential to the fabric and the makeup of the life that I choose to lead at the moment. But I will say a big thank you to those who have joined us on the couch this year. They've been enlightening and fun, and bringing a level of awareness about our own gifts and talents to the table. And for those that have tuned in, thank you for your time and your effort and your feedback. We do appreciate it, and we do take it on board. And also, thank you to those guests that we didn't mesh with. Thank you for helping us understand that the process in which we do things makes sense for us. Because in everything there are golden nuggets, whether they be good, bad, or indifferent. And on that note, we love you. Thank you so much for providing your most precious resource, which is your time. And have an amazing end to 2024. And we look forward to you joining us in 2025 and to see what exciting things will roll out in the next year. And we look forward to having you on that journey with us. So until then, take really good care of yourselves and say yes more often.